Hey everyone, I'm Raz from the Semi-Retired Samurai. If you're new to this channel, welcome. And on here, I speak about life after 50 and living on your own terms. Now, today's video, I want to talk about why friendship gets harder, especially for men after 50. Work used to be a place where you can make friends, and for many of us who are facing retirement, that structure disappears, and suddenly you're left out there. You don't really know how to rebuild these friendships outside of your work network. And I want to share what worked for me as a 50-year-old, including and I want to mention some organizations that were built specifically to address this problem. And so first of all, nobody tells you this, but somewhere around 50 years old, you stop making new friends. And for most of us, I don't think I've made a new friend in a long time now that thinking about it. And I want to walk you through why this happens and exactly what I did to reverse it. And it's not for that men over 50 don't want friends. It's that, they lost, I guess, the structure on that they used to make them. And there's a fly buzzing around, sorry. So why does friendship tend to disappear as we get older? Well, for years we would make um, our friends at work. Maybe we would get introduced to other friends through our work colleagues. And now that we're thinking about retiring, or many of us are heading that way, uh, I'm finding for myself, just even being semi-retired, that I'm no longer at my business as much as I used to be teaching all the time. And so there really isn't a place where I can make new friends unless I, make an effort to go out and join a group. Maybe it's a pickleball, or for me, fortunately, I've got jiu-jitsu I still train in. But I didn't notice, one thing is I didn't notice how isolated I was until I semi-retired and stepped away and realized that my phone wasn't ringing as much anymore. And um, I guess people assume that I'm busy, so they don't really call, and they're kind of busy with their own lives. And I think that was one of the first things I noticed, was how quiet things become. And one of the things I kept on thinking was, my old friends would reach out and call first, but they're so busy, they don't have time, so they're busy with their lives, and I can understand that. So I think all these things that I just took for granted, and I thought that they would all happen naturally, like I did when I was younger, where you could just make friends all the time, especially when you were in school. And I don't know. I think some people might feel that it's embarrassing that you need to go find friends at my age. And but after speaking to even people that are much younger than me, with all the new technology now, they're having such a hard time meeting new people. And I thought to myself, well, is it because they don't know how to? And but I think society's become so isolated now with all the electronics and so forth that they forgot what it was like to have face-to-face communications. So I started to research about how people our age, or people any age, can start to find new friends. So I started researching online on how people can make new friends, especially after 50. And there's something that I thought was quite interesting. There's an organization called Men's Sheds, and I thought that was pretty cool, low pressure way to meet new people, meet new friends. And I thought it was, when I read about it, I thought it was kind of interesting how the concept came up. And it was about, I think it was created by a study, a scientific study, and it showed that how they had put kids together when we were kids. They would just put us together with a group of kids, and we wouldn't introduce the kids to one another. They just went and played. And eventually those kids would eventually find common interests, which will lead them to introduce themselves and make new friendships. And I thought that was quite cool because I think it's very much lost when we get older. We don't know where to find other people with common interests, and we don't know how to reach out. And so what this men's shed does is it puts people together that, maybe they might like something like woodworking, right? So they connect with other men in a group that likes woodworking, and you just go and participate, and you don't have to talk to one another. Eventually you just work on your woodworking project, and eventually it will just stimulate conversation. It will lead you to people that you really connect with. And I thought that was really, really, really cool. And so that's one way. There's another organization called We Are Brothers, and I don't know too much about it. It seems to steer towards a younger group. I'm sure it could be helpful to people our age as well. And so what do these groups have in common that regular socializing doesn't? I think what it does is it brings together one common interest, right? Because I find myself, if I looked into other social groups that are out there, like over 50 social groups, and I think they're great, but the only problem is, I look at it and it's like, I don't know if I want to go, because if I go, then a lot of these people might not have the same interests I do. But for me, I go to something like jiu-jitsu. I know that we all talk jiu-jitsu, right? I mean, if I speak to a group of people like MMA or something like that, then I can probably have a lot of interest in the conversations we have, right? But I mean, I'm always open to put myself out there to try new things. But for me, I know for myself, I have to have some kind of common interest to bond with people, and the more in a room, the merrier. So that is my experience on finding friendship and new friendship after 50, and I would just want to share that experience with you. And if this is the kind of thing that you're working through in this stage of your life, I got a newsletter that goes deeper on this stuff, and my journey and my thoughts on navigating our 50s. And it's my official site, which is the semi-retiredsamurai.com. So feel free to check it out. It's in the link below. And if you like this video and resonate with the channel, please feel free to like, share, or subscribe. And check out my next video, and we'll see you next time. Take care.